how's everyone? Okay, let's pause and spend some time with the Lord, okay? So, here we go. Introduction to the book of Haggai. The prophet who got results. For once, God's people listened. The whole remnant of the people obeyed the voice of the Lord their God and the message of the prophet Haggai, because the Lord their God sent him, according to chapter 1, verse 12. Sometimes, at crucial moments, a single voice can steer a direction that massive people to action. Winston Churchill's inspiring oratory may have saved Britain in World War II. True leaders of nations are those who inspire the people to constructive action. Haggai's words similarly rang clear in a time of confusion. The Jews had come back from their exile in Babylon nearly 20 years before, but they seemed to have forgotten the point of returning. After one false start on the temple, the exiles had devoted their energy to building their own houses. The ruins of Solomon's temple stood as a nagging reminder that they had neglected God. Now, Haggai urged those pioneers to give careful thought to their situation. He didn't rage like Jeremiah or build eloquent poems like Isaiah. He put it simply and logically. They had worked hard, but what had it earned them? Their crops were unsuccessful. Their money disappeared as soon as they earned it. Why? Haggai asked. Because they had mistaken their priorities. They needed to put God first. Yes, God first. They needed to rebuild His temple. A response from the heart. People responded to Haggai immediately. Prophets before him, such as Amos, Isaiah, or Jeremiah, had spoken for decades without seeing such a heartfelt reaction. Haggai's messages spanned a mere 4 months, but he accomplished everything he set out to do. In 4 years, the temple was complete. What made the temple so important? After all, the proper sacrifices and rituals could be carried out on a makeshift altar. But God's reputation was at stake. He could not be properly honored as long as the house he called home lay in ruins. The temple symbolized God's presence and Israel's priorities. Would rebuilding the temple change Israel's financial situation? Haggai's first words promised nothing. He simply said, "Give careful thought to your ways," and pointed out that Israel's lack of prosperity was God's doing. They had worked hard, but God had withheld the rain their crops needed. A month later, according to chapter 2, verses 1 to 9, Haggai said that God had glorious plans for Israel, plans that would shake the whole earth. But he referred to God's presence with them, not to good crops. Only on the last day, accounted for his brief book, did Haggai get back to the subject of harvest. He said that God wanted his people to give careful thought, and again, this time, to the dramatic difference they would see in their harvest, since they had put God first. "From this day on, I will bless you," God said through Haggai. How to read Haggai. One of the shortest books in the Bible, Haggai, can easily be read at a sitting or one sitting. Haggai's words came at a critical time or in a crucial time in the life of the nation of Israel. They mark one of the few times in all history when God spoke and his people quickly and without questions obeyed. For the historical background, you may read Ezra chapters 1 to 6. Haggai's crucial message is mentioned in Ezra chapter 5 verses 1 to 2, and check also on the lineup of rulers which can help you place Haggai in Israelite history. There is a progression to God's warnings and his promises through Haggai. Study each of Haggai's messages and note down what encouragement, what warning, and what hope God offered Israel. Also, how did God motivate them to obey him? For our reading plans, as usual, we have Plan 1 and Plan 2. Okay, for Plan 1, an overview of Haggai in one day. So review on the introduction to Haggai, okay, just like what we've done. And then proceed to Chapter 1, which tells how Haggai's message changed Israel's direction. Now for Plan 2, all of Haggai in 2 days, since we have 2 chapters. Chapter 1 for day 1 and chapter 2 for day 2, okay? So that's all for now. God bless us all.